The outpost was silent. Far away from Earth, the little station circled a red star. Its metal walls hummed with weak power. The traveler, this lonely human, lived there for months. He fixed machines, ate simple meals, and waited for supply ships that never came on time. He was used to silence, but tonight, silence broke. A soft noise came from the food store. Not a machine click, not a vent hiss. Something else, something alive. The traveler stood up, his heart quick. He moved slowly, holding a small lamp. The sound was soft scratching, like claws on metal. He breathed in, steady but tense. Was it a rat? No. Rats could not live here. Was it a machine? Fault? He knew every machine sound, and this was not one. He reached the store door. The light showed a small shadow moving, and then he saw her, a tiny alien girl crouched on the floor. Her skin shimmered pale blue. Her eyes were too large for her face, glowing faint silver. In her hands, she held a piece of his dry bread, stolen from the corner shelf. For a second, both froze. The traveler did not shout. He did not run. He only watched. She was thin, her arms shaking, her clothes torn like old fabric. She looked more like a lost child than a thief. The girl's eyes went wide. She expected anger, maybe pain. She pressed the bread close to her chest, ready to flee. The traveler did something strange. He spoke softly. "You hungry?" She did not answer. Her head tilted, confused by his voice. He stepped closer, slow, like one might move near a scared animal. He reached the shelf, took another piece of bread, and then a cup of clean water. He placed them on the floor, between them both. Then he stepped back. The girl stared. The water reflected in her eyes. She licked her lips but did not move. "Eat," he said, his voice calm. Still she waited. He knelt down, broke his own piece of bread and ate it in front of her. Then he smiled, though it felt awkward on his lonely face. The girl finally crawled forward. She picked up the cup. She drank with quick gulps, drops sliding down her chin. Then she ate the bread in small, fast bites. Her thin body shook with relief. When she finished, she looked at him again. This time, her silver eyes were not afraid. They were studying him. "You give food," she whispered. Her voice was high, strange, with a musical tone. He nodded. "Yes. You were hungry." The girl tilted her head again, like she was trying to understand a puzzle. Then she said words that made his skin cold. "I heard you want a wife." The traveler blinked. He thought he had heard wrong. "What?" Her lips curved in the smallest smile. "My mother is perfect for you." He stared. His mouth opened, then closed. His lonely brain tried to make sense of her strange sentence. Who was her mother? Why would a starving girl speak of marriage to a stranger who gave her bread? The girl stood now, straighter, more certain. She placed her small hand on her chest. "I am Lyra. You gave me food. For that I give you gift. My mother. She will be your wife." The traveler laughed once, nervous and dry. He thought maybe it was a game, a child's odd idea. But her face was serious. Too serious. He whispered, "Why?" Her silver eyes shone brighter. "Because kindness is rare. And you are kind." The words echoed in the metal room, heavy and strange. The traveler felt the air turn colder. He wanted to ask more, but she was already walking to the door. "Come," she said. "You will meet her." The traveler stood frozen. His life on this outpost had been routine, silent, almost dead. Now this small blue child spoke of gifts and wives as if it were the most natural thing. Something inside him wanted to refuse. Something else, deep and human, whispered to follow. Curiosity, loneliness, hope. He stepped after her. The door slid open with a hiss. Beyond it was darkness lit by faint alien glow. The girl walked with sure steps, her small shadow stretching long. He looked back once at his quiet food store, then forward, at the unknown path. The girl's voice echoed again. "She waits for you," and with that the traveler followed into the dark. The metal door closed behind him with a final hiss. For months, the traveler had known only the dull gray of his outpost. Now, beyond that door, a new world waited. The tunnel stretched downward, carved not by human tools, but by something alive. The walls glowed faint green like moss that could breathe. Soft light pulsed in veins that ran through the stone as if the rock itself carried blood. The little alien girl, Lyra, walked ahead with quick, light steps. She did not fear the tunnel. Her small feet made almost no sound, but the traveler's boots echoed against the strange floor. He asked quietly, "Where are you taking me?" Lyra turned her head just enough for her silver eyes to catch the glow. "To Mother." Her words were calm, certain. No explanation, no fear. The traveler swallowed hard. His outpost had never shown signs of neighbors, no life beyond a few thin plants outside the station walls. Yet here was a child, and here was a secret passage leading to... What? He touched the tunnel wall as he walked. It was warm. The light inside it seemed to move away from his hand like a shy animal. "This isn't human work," he muttered. "No," Lyra answered simply. The tunnel bent and stretched. At times it narrowed so much he had to duck. At other times it opened into wide spaces where tall columns rose like trees, glowing brighter at their tips. Strange symbols covered them, moving slowly like ink on water. The traveler could not read them, but they felt alive as if watching him. He tried to hide his unease with a small laugh. "Does your mother live in a cave?" Lyra stopped walking. She looked back at him with a curious expression. "This is not cave, this is home." Her voice carried no doubt, no shame. Just truth. The traveler nodded, though his chest tightened. Home. Could anyone call this warm, breathing tunnel a home? They walked deeper until the air grew heavy, moist, filled with a faint, sweet scent, like flowers burning slowly. The traveler felt his pulse quicken. Something unseen pressed on him. Not danger exactly, but presence. "Do you feel it?" Lyra asked softly. He nodded. "Yes." "What is it?" "She knows you are here." The traveler stopped. "Your mother?" "Yes." His skin crawled. A thought rose sharp in his mind. "Turn back. This is madness." Yet another voice, quieter but stronger, answered, "You've come too far. See it through." So, he walked on. At last, the tunnel opened into a chamber. The walls curved high above, glowing like a soft green sky. In the center stood an archway, tall and black, made of some smooth stone that drank light instead of giving it. Strange vines wrapped around it, alive, moving slowly like snakes. Lyra stopped in front of the archway. She turned to him. "Wait here." The traveler frowned. "Wait for what?" She only smiled faintly. "Mother will come." Before he could argue, she slipped through the arch and vanished into the shadow beyond. The traveler stood alone. His heart pounded. The air in the chamber shifted, colder now but alive, breathing with him. He took a step closer to the arch. The vines reacted, moving faster, curling as if guarding the path. He stopped, raising his hands. "All right, I'll..." "Oh, wait." The silence that followed was not empty. It was heavy, watching. Then, he heard it. A voice. Not with his ears, but inside his head. A whisper, soft and clear. "You gave her food." The traveler stiffened. He looked around, but no one stood near. Who is this?" The whisper grew stronger, filling his thoughts. "You showed kindness. Few do. That is why she chose you." His knees felt weak. He wanted to shout, to run, but the voice was not cruel. It was calm. patient, deep as the earth. Another step echoed from the archway. Not Lyra this time. Something larger. Out of the shadow, a tall figure appeared. Her shape was like a woman's, but not human. Her skin shone faint silver, smooth as water. Her hair, or what looked like hair, flowed behind her like threads of light. Her eyes glowed bright, reflecting the same silver as her daughter's, but deeper, stronger. The traveler could not move. The figure stepped forward. The vines curled back as if bowing. She looked at him not with her eyes only, but with her mind. He felt her inside his thoughts, turning pages of his life as if they were a book. She spoke aloud now, her voice rich, low, but strangely beautiful. I am Soraya, mother of Lyra, leader of my people. The traveler managed a breath. I don't understand. Why bring me here? Her lips curved, almost like a smile, but her eyes never softened. Because kindness is rare, and kindness is strength. You gave food to my child. For that, you are invited to something greater. He swallowed. What do you mean? Her silver gaze deepened, piercing. You are invited to me. The word struck him harder than any blow. Invited to her? To what? Marriage? Bonding? Something else entirely? The chamber seemed to grow darker. The vines rustled. The glowing walls pulsed like a heartbeat. The traveler felt the weight of choice pressing already. He had not come for this. He had not asked for this. But now, standing before Soraya, he knew his life would never again be the same. The tall alien woman stepped closer. Her presence was vast, filling the chamber, filling him. Her voice entered, his mind again softer but sharp as a blade. Will you join with me? And the chamber fell silent, waiting for his answer. The words echoed inside his skull. Will you join with me? The traveler's breath caught in his throat. Her silver eyes held him, and for a moment, he could not even blink. Soraya, the alien mother, stood tall, glowing softly in the chamber's light. She was both beautiful and terrifying, a living secret no human had ever seen. He wanted to speak, to answer. But his voice broke. Join with you? What does that mean? Soraya tilted her head slightly, the way Lyra had done. Only now it was not childlike, it was sharp, studied, as if she was measuring his soul. It means bond, she said. Her voice was rich, layered, almost like two voices speaking together. A bridge between your kind and mine. The traveler shook his head. I didn't come here for this. I only gave food to a child. Her silver eyes flashed. Yes, that is why you are chosen. Kindness is proof of strength, and strength is what my people need. The words rolled over him like a tide. Chosen? By whom? For what? He glanced at Lyra, who now stood at her mother's side. Her small face was calm, but her eyes watched him with hope. She believed this was right. The traveler's hands trembled. He wanted to laugh, to deny it all, but deep inside, he felt something else. A spark. It was the same spark that had pushed him to stay alive in this forgotten outpost. The same spark that had made him share his food with a starving stranger. Soraya stepped closer. The vines around the arch shifted, parting as if bowing to her. With each step she took, the air grew heavier, pressing against him. He smelled something sweet, like strange flowers blooming in fire. You are alone, she said softly. Your kind left you here. Forgotten? He flinched. She had touched his memories. She had seen the truth. He was stationed at the outpost. Yes, but no one cared if he lived or died. The supply ships came late. His messages went unanswered. He was just another shadow in humanity's expansion. But with us, Soraya continued, you will not be forgotten. You will be needed. You will be ours. The traveler's heart pounded. Part of him wanted to run back to the safety of his dull outpost, where nothing strange ever happened. But another part whispered, safety is not life. Safety is not meaning. Forced out words. And if I refuse? The chamber darkened as if the glowing walls pulled back their light. The vines hissed, curling like snakes ready to strike. Lyra's small face turned worried. Soraya did not raise her voice. She didn't need to. "If you refuse," she said, "you will leave this place alive, but you will return to silence, to emptiness. You will die as you lived, alone." The words hit harder than threats of violence. Alone. Yes, he knew that pain too well. Still, he fought back. "Why me? Why not someone stronger? Wiser? I'm just human." Her silver eyes glowed brighter, piercing. "Exactly, human, do you not see? My people can shape stone, bend machines, share thoughts, but we cannot feel as you do. We do not hold kindness the way you do. That is the spark your kind carries. That is what we need." The traveler swallowed. It made terrible sense. To them, humanity was not weak. Humanity was rare. Soraya raised her hand. Not a weapon, an open hand, glowing faintly. "Take my hand, and you will see. You will understand." His fingers twitched. His mind screamed caution, but his heart pulled forward. Slowly, almost against his own will, he reached out. His hand touched hers. The world changed. Light exploded behind his eyes. His mind flooded with visions. Not his memories, but hers. He saw tall alien cities grown from living stone, towers rising like trees. He felt the pulse of thousands of minds connected as one, a chorus of thoughts. He felt their fear too, the slow dying of their world, the hunger for survival. And then he saw her, Soraya, not as a figure in front of him, but as a storm of light, endless, powerful. Yet beneath the power there was loneliness. She was leader, mother, protector, but also alone, just as he was. The connection broke suddenly. He gasped, falling to his knees, his chest heaving. Soraya's voice was gentle now, almost tender. "Do you see? You are not alone. Not anymore." Lyra rushed forward, her small hand on his arm. "Say yes," she whispered. "Please say yes." The traveler looked between them, the child with hopeful eyes, the mother with endless power. His head spun. He had wanted only silence, survival, routine. But now he had been pulled into something vast. His mouth opened. His heart wanted to say yes, but his mind feared the cost. Before he could answer, a new sound shook the chamber. A deep roar, angry, full of hate. From another tunnel, a tall shadow appeared, broad, strong, with burning red eyes. Another alien, taller than the traveler, his body wrapped in sharp, bone-like armor. The rival had come. He pointed at the human, his voice harsh like grinding stone. "This one does not deserve her. He is weak. I will take her place, and he will die." The traveler staggered back. His choice was no longer simple. It was no longer about yes or no. Now it was about survival. The rival's roar shook the chamber. The traveler staggered back, his heart racing. The tall alien was a wall of muscle and armor, his red eyes burning like coals. His voice thundered, "This human is weak. He does not deserve Soraya. Let him prove himself. Or let him die." The vines on the archway writhed in anger, but Soraya raised her hand. At once the chamber grew still. Her silver gaze swept between the rival and the human. "You challenge my choice, Varric?" The rival slammed, his clawed fist against his chest. "Yes. You risk our people's future on a fragile stranger. He cannot protect us. He cannot even protect himself." The traveler's throat tightened. He wanted to protest, but what could he say? Compared to Varric, he was small, weak, and very human. Soraya's voice remained calm, but her tone was iron. "Then he will be tested. If he fails, you may have your claim. If he passes, you will bow." Varric grinned, sharp teeth flashing. "I accept." The traveler's knees felt weak. "Wait," he stammered. "What kind of test?" Soraya turned to him. Her eyes softened, slightly. "Not of strength, of spirit. You gave food to a starving child. That act has already proven you are not weak in the ways that matter. But now, you must show it to all. The chamber's walls pulsed brighter, veins of light flowing. Toward the floor, the stone beneath them shifted, opening into a circle. Within it, a new space formed, dark, deep, swirling with mist. Lyra gasped. The Chamber of Truth. The traveler's mouth went dry. What's that? Soraya spoke solemnly. A place of visions. It will draw out your fears, your doubts, your pain. You must face them without running. Only then will you be worthy. The human froze. Fears? He had plenty. Memories he had buried. Regrets he carried. And now they wanted him to walk straight into them? Barrick sneered. He will break in moments. The traveler wanted to say no. He wanted to step back, escape, run to the safety of his outpost. But Soraya's eyes held him. And Lyra's small hand touched his sleeve, trembling. You can do this, the girl whispered. He took a long breath. Then, with legs shaking, he stepped into the circle. The mist rose around him instantly, cold, thick, swallowing the light. The chamber, Soraya, Lyra, all vanished. He stood alone in the dark. At first, silence. Then voices, whispering, familiar voices. You were always a failure. No one will remember you. Alone, forgotten, useless. The traveler shook his head. No, stop. But the whispers grew louder. Shapes formed in the mist. His old commanders turning away. His family, faces cold and distant. A supply ship flying past his outpost, not stopping. He reached out, but the shapes dissolved into smoke. His chest ached. His knees buckled. Why do this to me? He cried into the dark. A shadow stepped forward. Himself. But not as he was. Older. Weaker. Hunched. Eyes empty. You know the truth, the shadow said. You will die alone, forgotten in the dark. No one cares, not humans, not aliens, not anyone. The traveler's hands trembled. His throat burned. For a moment he believed it. Then he remembered. Lyra, crouched on his outpost floor, clutching stolen bread. Her silver eyes when she drank water. The relief in her face, the trust, he whispered. I cared. I gave food. That means something. The shadow laughed cruelly. One small kindness. And what will it change? He felt anger stir in his chest. Real anger. Not at the shadow, but at the idea itself. That kindness was nothing. That helping one starving child was meaningless. His voice rose, steady now. It changes everything. Because kindness is strength. And strength is what keeps us alive. Theo. Shadow's smile faltered. The mist trembled. The traveler took a step forward. I am human. I am weak, yes, but I am kind. And that makes me stronger than you. The shadow hissed, crumbling into smoke. The whispers faded. The mist broke apart. Light returned. The traveler stumbled, gasping back into the chamber. Sweat dripped down his face, but his eyes were sharp. He was still shaking, but he was standing. Soraya's gaze was fixed on him. Proud. Calm. He has passed. Lyra clapped her small hands, her silver eyes bright with joy. I knew it. But Varric snarled, his red eyes blazing. No. Tricks. He is still weak. The vines hissed, but Soraya's voice cut through the air like thunder. Enough. The chamber has judged. He faced his fear and did not run. You will bow. Varric growled, his body trembling with rage. For a moment it seemed he would attack. But then, slowly, with visible pain, he bent one knee and lowered his head. The traveler stared in disbelief. He had survived. Somehow he had won. But even as relief washed over him, another thought crept in. If this was only the test, what came next? And in Soraya's silver eyes, glowing bright in the chamber light, he saw the answer. This was only the beginning. Varric rose slowly from his bow, his claws scraping the stone floor. His red eyes burned hotter than before. The chamber's glow reflected across his sharp armor, each jagged edge like a blade. You think this proves him worthy? Varric snarled, pointing at the human. He survived a dream, but dreams do not fight wars. Dreams do not protect our people. He is nothing. The traveler's chest tightened. He wanted to speak, but his throat was dry. He had faced his fears, yes, but standing before Varric felt like facing death itself. Soraya's voice was steady. The chamber judged him true. That is enough. But Varric stepped forward, towering over the human. Not for me. If you trust him, let him face me. Let us see his strength in the open, here, now. Lyra gasped. No, he just... Soraya raised her hand, silencing her daughter. Her silver gaze stayed locked on Varric. If he must face you, it will not be in blood. Our law forbids death within the chamber. Varric bared his teeth. Then we fight with the mind, with will. If he fails, he leaves. Forever. The traveler swallowed. Wait. Fight with the mind? Soraya turned to him. Our bond with this place runs deeper than flesh. We shape stone, bend vines, call light with thought. That is our strength. You must meet him there. The traveler blinked. But I can't do that. I'm not one of you. Her voice was calm but sharp. You already touched my mind. The spark is in you. Use it. Varric's grin widened. He slammed his claw into the ground and the stone itself shuddered. Vines erupted from the floor, twisting into spears. With a sweep of his arm, they hurled forward. The traveler stumbled back, but the vines froze inches from his chest. Soraya's voice whispered in his mind. Do not run. Stand. Shape. He closed his eyes. His fear screamed inside him, but he remembered the chamber, the shadow of himself, the whispers. He had defeated them by holding on to one truth. Kindness is strength. He focused. In his mind, he pictured the vines not as weapons but as roots of a tree, roots that could bend. His heart pounded as he whispered, not to kill, to stop. The vines quivered, then twisted sideways, slamming harmlessly into the wall. Gasps echoed. Even Lyra's silver eyes went wide with wonder. Varric roared. Trick! He raised both arms, summoning more vines. This time they formed claws, sharp and long, snapping at the human. The traveler staggered, sweat running down his face. His body shook, but inside his chest something grew. Fire, not of anger, but of refusal. Refusal to give in. Refusal to fail the child who trusted him. He focused harder. Not claws, he whispered. Shields. The floor answered. The vines, before him, flattened, hardening into a wall that blocked the attack. The impact rattled his bones, but he stood firm. Varric's roar shook the chamber. He poured his will into the floor, summoning a storm of vines that lashed in every direction. The chamber filled with chaos, roots snapping like whips. The traveler's knees buckled. His mind felt like fire. He could barely hold on. He wanted to quit, to collapse, but then Lyra's voice pierced the storm. You can do it. I believe in you. The words cut through his exhaustion. He thought of the girl, starving, clutching bread. He thought of Soraya's lonely storm of light. He thought of himself, forgotten by his own kind. And he thought, if I walk away, all of this dies. He dug deep, deeper than he thought possible. Not anger, not pride, but mercy. He reached into the storm of vines and whispered, stop. And they did. Every root froze. The chamber went silent. The vines curled slowly away, falling, limp to the ground. Varric stumbled, his red eyes wide with disbelief. His strength had been broken, not by power but by control. The traveler panted, his body shaking, but he stood tall. He looked at Varric, not with hatred but with calm. I don't want to destroy you, I just won't let you win. The rival snarled, his pride cut deep, But Soraya's voice rang clear. Enough, the human has prevailed. Lyra clapped her hands with joy, running to the traveler's side. Her silver eyes sparkled. You did it, I knew you could. Varric growled low but bowed his head in defeat. He spat on the floor, his pride wounded. This is not over. He may have passed today, but tomorrow he will fall. He stormed out, the vines pulling back as he left. The chamber slowly stilled. The traveler collapsed to one knee, sweat dripping, chest heaving. He looked at Soraya. I didn't think I could do that. She stepped forward, her silver glow wrapping him, like light. That is the truth of your kind. You believe you cannot, and then you do. That is why you are stronger than you know. The traveler met her gaze. Her words struck deep. He was still afraid, still unsure, but for the first time, he felt something, new possibility. And yet as the chamber darkened, a question lingered. Varric's warning echoed in his mind. This is not over, and the traveler knew. His hardest choice had not yet come. The chamber was quiet now. The vines lay limp against the stone floor as if asleep. The echoes of Varric's fury still lingered, but his shadow was gone. The traveler knelt, gasping for air. Sweat ran down his face, his muscles shook, but his eyes burned with life. He had survived again. Somehow, Lyra ran to him, her silver eyes bright as stars. You stopped him. No one has ever stopped Varric like that. You're amazing. The traveler gave a tired laugh. Amazing? I feel like I'm about to fall over, she giggled, tugging at his arm. But you stood your ground. That's what matters. Soraya stepped forward, her tall figure glowing softly in the chamber's green light. Her presence was calm, commanding, and strangely warm. She looked down at the human with eyes that saw more than sight. You did not fight to destroy, she said. You fought to stop. That choice is what makes you different. That choice is why you matter. The traveler swallowed. I didn't want to hurt him. I just couldn't let him win. Soraya nodded. Mercy is strength. The strong who show no mercy are only beasts, but those who choose restraint, they are leaders. The word settled heavy in his chest. Leader. He had never been called that before. Back on Earth, back in his lonely outpost, he was just another forgotten worker. Nothing special. But here, her voice made him feel needed. He whispered, almost, to himself. Why me? Why go to all this trouble for one human? Soraya's silver eyes glowed brighter. Because you are not only one human, you are a bridge. The traveler frowned. A bridge? Yes. Her voice deepened, soft, but powerful. My people are dying. Our world shrinks each season. The roots that feed us dry. The old songs weaken. We need something new, something beyond us. We need the spark your kind carries. Her hand lifted, graceful, glowing faint. Humans burn, bright. You are fragile, yes, but your fire is strong. You rise again and again where others fall. That is what we lack. That is what we need. The traveler stared at her, his heart pounding. This was not just about Soraya, not about marriage or family. It was about survival, about joining two species together. He whispered, and if I say yes, what happens? Soraya stepped closer. The air thickened with her presence. Then we bond. Our thoughts, our strength, our futures joined as one. Through me, you will lead. Through you, we will endure. The traveler's chest tightened. And if I say no? Her eyes softened, though her voice remained steady. Then you return to your outpost. You live alone and we search for another path. But know this. Every choice echoes. A refusal may cost not only us but you, for loneliness is a slow death. He flinched. She had touched the deepest wound in him. Alone, forgotten, invisible to his own people. That pain had gnawed at him every day in the silence of his outpost, and here she was offering the opposite, belonging, purpose, family. Lyra tugged at his arm again, smiling wide. If you join, you'll be my father. You won't be alone anymore. We'll be together. Her innocent hope pierced his heart. He wanted to say yes. He wanted to believe it could be that simple, but fear held him. What if I fail? What if I'm not enough for you? For your people? Soraya lowered herself to one knee, so her silver eyes met his at equal height. Her voice softened to a whisper that felt like a song. You are enough because you ask that question. Those who fear failure will strive to rise. Those who never doubt will fall without knowing. He met her gaze. In her eyes he saw not only power but loneliness. She was leader, mother, protector of her people, but she too carried silence. She too longed for someone to share the weight. His hand trembled. Slowly, he reached forward. She offered hers. Their fingers touched. The bond ignited. Light exploded again in his mind. He saw flashes. Alien cities grown from stone, rivers of glowing roots, skies lit by storms of silver fire. He felt the weight of thousands of voices, her people crying, out in fear and hope. And beneath it all he felt Soraya herself, her strength, her burden, her loneliness, and her faith in him. The connection surged deeper, wrapping around his thoughts like a gentle tide. But unlike the chamber of truth, this was no attack. It was an invitation. He gasped, overwhelmed but unwilling to let go. His heart pounded. His voice shook as he whispered aloud, I see you. Soraya's lips curved into a faint smile. And I see you. The bond pulsed once, then slowly faded, leaving him kneeling on the stone floor, trembling but alive. Lyra clapped her hands, her voice ringing bright. It worked. He's one of us now. Soraya stood tall again, her glow filling the chamber. She looked down at the traveler not as a stranger, but as something new. Partner, bridge, hope. But before he could breathe relief, a sharp chill spread through the chamber. The vines hissed. The walls dimmed. Soraya's expression hardened. They have felt it. The traveler blinked. Felt what? Her silver eyes narrowed. The bond. The others will know, and not all will welcome it. The chamber shivered as if in warning. Somewhere deep in the tunnels, a new sound rose. A low rumble. Like many feet marching, the bond had begun. But so had the danger. The chamber shook. The glowing walls dimmed to a faint pulse as if the whole place was holding its breath. The traveler's body trembled from the bond, but he forced himself to stand. Soraya's silver eyes narrowed. Her tall figure stood firm, though the vines at her feet hissed with unease. They felt it, she said again, her voice low. The bond is not hidden. The others will come. Lyra clung to the traveler's arm. We have to go. They will not accept you. The traveler's chest tightened. His thoughts swirled. He had given food to a starving child, faced his own fears, stopped a rival, and now shared a bond with Soraya. But what was it all leading to? Was he truly ready for this? The rumble grew louder. Steps. Many steps. Voices, in the tunnels, sharp and angry. The chamber air thickened with the approach of a crowd. Varric returned first, his red eyes blazing, but this time he was not alone. Behind him came dozens of tall figures armored in living bone, their gazes filled with suspicion and rage. He has touched her, Varric thundered, pointing at the human. This outsider dares claim a place among us. Will you let him lead? You to ruin? The crowd growled, a wave of distrust rolling through the chamber. The traveler felt their anger like heat pressing against his skin. Soraya raised her hand. He has proven himself. He faced the chamber. He faced Varric. And he chose mercy. He carries the spark we need. But the crowd roared louder. One shouted, He is weak. Another, He is not of us. The traveler's stomach twisted. His legs wanted to run, but he forced himself to stay. He looked at Soraya, calm but strained. He looked at Lyra, fearful, yet hopeful. Then he looked at the crowd, angry and afraid of change. His voice shook as he spoke. I never asked for this. I didn't come here to rule or to take anything. I only gave food to a child because she was hungry, that's all. But maybe that's where it begins. The crowd muttered, uncertain. He stepped forward, his knees trembling but his voice steadier now. I am not stronger than you. I am not wiser than you, but I know this. Mercy is not weakness. Kindness is not weakness. It is the only reason your daughter lived to bring me here. If that is weakness, then I will carry it proudly. The words hung in the chamber like fire. Varrock snarled, stepping closer. Empty words. Will you trust your future to a fragile dreamer? The traveler met his gaze, not with anger but with calm. Yes, because dreams are what build the future. Silence fell. Even Varrock hesitated. Then Soraya's voice filled the chamber, firm and commanding. He is right. We have strength enough to fight, to crush, to destroy. But strength without mercy is nothing. It is the human spark we need, and through him, we may survive. Her silver eyes glowed bright as stars. She turned to the traveler. The choice is yours. Stay with your kind, forgotten and alone, or stay with us and carry this bond. Choose now. The chamber seemed to hold its breath. Dozens of alien eyes burned into him. Lyra's small hand gripped his sleeve, trembling. Soraya's gaze locked into his, unyielding, but waiting. The traveler closed his eyes. Images rushed through his mind. His lonely outpost, the silence of forgotten duty, the shadow of a future where no one remembered him. Then the image of Lyra, small and starving, smiling after her first sip of water. And Soraya, storm of light, powerful and alone, asking not for conquest but for partnership. He opened his eyes. His heart beat fast, but his voice was steady. I choose you, Lyra gasped with joy. Soraya's eyes softened with something almost like relief. The crowd shifted, divided between anger and awe. Varrock roared, but Soraya raised her hand. Enough. The choice is made. He stands with us. The chamber's walls pulsed bright, light flowing through every vein of stone. The bond spread, not only through Soraya, but through the roots of their world. The traveler felt it, an echo of connection beyond himself, a door opening to something vast. Soraya's voice filled his mind, soft and fierce. From this day you are not alone. From this day you are one of us. He breathed deeply, his chest heavy but alive. For the first time in his life he felt seen, needed, chosen. Yet as the chamber glowed brighter, he caught a final glimpse of Varrock's red eyes, burning with silent promise. This battle was over, but others would come. The traveler whispered almost to himself, this is only the beginning. And so it was.